This is Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Coming up in today's bulletin, in what looks like a full diplomatic row, Nigerians in Ghana react to the demolition of an extension of the residence of the High Commissioner to Ghana. We bring you highlights. Meanwhile, the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the Nigerian government have been reacting to this demolition. Now, also, experts call for intensified education as many recovered COVID-19 patients still face stigmatization and discrimination. Also in the bulletin, in business, charges on mobile money interoperability and other digital banking products resume today after expiration of waiver. There's also sports and world news in this bulletin. Stay with us. Now, a group of protesters this morning stormed the Nigerian the Nigerian embassy in Ghana, where a section of which was demolished over the weekend by some bulldozers. It is unclear who carried out the demolition, but Nigerians in Ghana have been dissatisfied with the action. Take a look at this.
Good morning. Joy News has been called in to the residence of the Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana. Here we find the building that has been put up to house staff of the High Commission has been pulled out. The understanding is that some armed men stormed here with bulldozers and threatened staff of the embassy, and then whilst doing that they pulled down the building. I would like to speak to some of the personnel who were here and witnessed what happened.
I'm Emmanuel Kapite. I'm in charge of the security at the National High Commission.
Okay, tell us what happened.
Basically, my boy here that you can see, they called me around 1:30, 1:32, 33, which I arrived here. And upon my arrival, I saw that the building behind me, as you can see, has been demolished. In fact, I consulted the head of chancellor, which he told me they've been calling the police to come in. More than an hour, they are not in. Before even me, I was called, but I was here and there was no police. So not quite long, a section team of the police came in. And when they came, by then the bulldozer is outside. He has finished his work and is outside with the so-called leader who is with them. Then the police, when they came, they did not come to us. They did not go to any other person, but rather went straight to the man. You could see they know him. They had a friendly chat. After talking, exchanging numbers and other things, then they allowed the bulldozer, the excavator, to move. The man also left. And when they came in, they started taking pictures. That's all. They did not ask me anything. They did not ask my boys anything.
I understand during all of these things, the men were armed and threatened to shoot. Tell us about that.
Yes, their leader has a pistol on him. And you can see how I'm dressed. If you put an arm, which is not in, but outside, you can see it clear, which is there. So he was having a pistol beside him, and he said, the word he used was simple. He said, national security, everybody is behind him. So if any of us try, he will clear us off. We are security men. We don't have gun. We don't have anything. What we have to do is to do what? Protect ourselves and then come.
It's live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. There's a lot that has been happening around this story, including the minority in parliament, which has released a statement. We'll be bringing you details of that statement in just a moment. But a bit of background. Now, as we heard the security men describe, some armed men allegedly broke the walls of the High Commission and pulled down portions of the building earmarked as residence for diplomatic staff. Now, the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Ministry has condemned the action, asking for urgent response from Ghana, whilst Ghana says it's launched investigations. Now, we'll bring you more on that, but the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has issued a statement calling for speedy resolution of the matter. Now, I have with me the statement which has been signed by Mr. Okudzeto-Ablakwa. It says here, the minority in Ghana's parliament is appalled and deeply embarrassed as the shocking demolition of properties belonging to the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana under the cover of darkness on the 19th of June 2020. The minority forcefully condemns it in no uncertain terms. It says this is a totally reckless act of aggression which violates international law and gravely undermines Ghana's long-standing diplomatic relations with Nigeria. The minority further wishes to state that we are disgusted at a statement purportedly issued by Ghana's Foreign Ministry dated the 20th of June 2020, which states that the perpetrators are unidentified and unknown to authorities, when by all eyewitness accounts, the demolition was carried out under the full protection of state security. We hope the Foreign Ministry is not laying the foundation for a grand cover-up. We hereby serve notice that the minority shall resist any such attempt. Now, it goes on to describe how this is a bad and grave sign when you're talking about Ghana-Nigeria relations. And so we will be bringing you more on this story in later bulletins, especially when we have more reactions from different sections of the public. You're still live on Joy News today. Now, in Ghana, many patients who have recovered from COVID-19 are facing stigmatization and discrimination. This is a social phenomenon. Well, this is still a social phenomenon despite constant education in the media and from public health officials. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service spoke on the AM show.
Tabwaje, kindly also explain to us the recoveries/discharge.
Okay. When the disease started, way in March, the first protocol was that in any old disease that we are also scared about, we picked the best distance. That's okay. Let's do viral clearance. The WHO recommended that you have to do 2 negatives before anybody is discharged, because everybody's clearance the concern was to stop the transmission so that anybody who is positive is not able to transmit. The new evidence after following up the case and being more steady is that after 10 days of becoming positive, that person is not able to transmit. It's not shedding the virus. So if it's not shedding the virus, then it means that you cannot transmit to somebody. And so instead of keeping you and doing 2 negatives before we discharge you, become unnecessary. And so once the person crosses that threshold, you can do that. So what WHO gave 10 days for those who are asymptomatic, those who don't display any symptoms or signs, and 10 days plus 3 days of no symptoms for people who came in with symptoms like cough, fever, among other things. Now, we looked at it, looked at our own circumstances, looked at some of the local studies with that, and we adopted a 14-day protocol, so that if you took your sample on the 14th and that you are positive, then and you have no symptoms, you go to the isolation center. By the 28th, you should be able to discharge you. Whether you're at home or isolation center, we have been managed in isolation center or in the treatment. Of course, treatment center, that you will be discharged. Then for further follow-up, if they need be. Those who are sick, after 14 days, if you show 3 days, consecutive days of no symptoms, no signs and symptoms, we also discharge you without a test. And that's how it is. And so if you look at all the people who have been in our books, who are not doing their tests, who are also preventing, who do not want to have the test, and those who are with us but they traveled, and so we are not able to find them to do their follow-up test. They are all technically, that are also technically discharged.
Dr. Tabwaje, there are still people who do the tests and don't get the results. If you haven't received your result after 2 weeks, what does it mean?
I haven't received a result after 2 weeks.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, Yeah, we need to follow up. I mean, if you had positive, I mean, we don't know you're positive. So if you are positive, that's when it starts. If, let's say, your test was negative, and your average result was negative, it doesn't mean that you will not contract the infection. And so we need to pursue the results and find out what it is. Because if you are negative, it means that you see those who are positive and recover, they have immunity. But if your result had not come, and so we don't know your status, then we cannot be sure of your distance. Subsequently, that test, if there's a need for have the test, that has to be redone.
So it is not true that if you don't hear from those who took your samples after 2 weeks, then it means the reason they haven't contacted you is because you're negative.
When you are negative, you are informed. When you are positive, you are informed. So there's nothing like if you don't hear for around, it means you are negative. Maybe the riskness with it, they will look for the positives is probably more higher than the negatives. But everybody is informed about their results.
Okay. Finally, sir. Okay. Finally, on stigma, we have a colleague who is recovering at the UGMC, who notified us that the persons who are due to be discharged today, for instance, their greatest fear is stigma from people at home, people at the workplace. How do we continue to fight this? How do we win the war against stigmatization?
I think we need to talk about the fact that the disease is not because you did something wrong, that's why you got it. And that it is not a death sentence. And most importantly, this new discharge policy, you must assure people that the people who are coming out are not infectious. I think the stigma is because people feel that, oh, this person is coming to give me the disease. I think we need to continue with the education that, look, when they are discharged because they are healthy, they are just like anybody else. They are not, in fact, they are more of an asset, because if I get a very serious disease and they can take their blood and give it to me, and it helps me to recover. And so we should rather celebrate them and not stigmatize them. And I think that's what we should be doing. That we are helping. I think we need to continue that discussion to ensure that that stigma is gone, and removing the fears, and also making people also confident that they are really not a threat to anybody, and that they should be accepted just like them.
Now we'll go back to COVID in a moment, but this is your election headquarters, and let's bring you some updates on Saturday's events. 40 members of parliament lost their candidature on the ticket of the NPP in the just ended parliamentary primaries. Now, the election saw over the weekend heavyweights like Dr. Mark Isibeyabwa and Joseph Kofiada and Benson Abdallah lose. This has raised concern among some political analysts, with some calling for quick moves to close the ranks of the governing party before the December polls. Speaking on the AM show, political scientist Dr. Ali Duseidu said this could have consequences for the party and parliament as a whole if not addressed.
I think it speaks volumes to the level that our democracy has become. If you want to look at it, it could be interpreted in two broad senses. One, people think you can be held to account once you breach the trust with the people. So from that particular perspective, you are looking at this defeat purely from the perspective of accountability. The people have elected you to go and serve their interests. And over the years, they have realized, or they have reasons to believe, that you were not able to do as they had wanted you to do. So basically, from that perspective, it is pure an element of accountability. But two, people are also looking at it from the perspective of inducement. It is not just the fact that we're not able to do our work very well, but people came out and were able to outspend our efforts. And for that matter, we have not been voted for because we were not a match for the people who have turned out to overspend us. So the first instance, if it is actually true that these incumbent MPs were not able to win simply because of their inability to live up to the expectation of the constituents, then it speaks to the level of democratic deepening that the Ghanaian voter has matured. The Ghanaian voter cannot be taken for granted. The Ghanaian voter cannot be lied to. Regardless of who you are, whether a sitting MP or whosoever you are, if you do not live up to your obligation of the social contract, then the people are going to kick you out. If that is the case, then every MP who is elected or every politician who is elected will now be very mindful of the fact that there will be a day of reckoning. But if you look at it from the other angle, it cheapens our democracy. It makes our democracy look so cheap that people can do so much work, people can sacrifice, people can put up a lot of effort. Then at the end of the day, it's just somebody who is able to marshal so much resources. You come and then you buy him out. If that is the case, then it means that the people that we are going to elect to be our members of parliament will technically not be cut for the job. It's just because of their ability to spend more than others. And if that is the case, then we are going to have a lot of challenges with the level of reasoning that will go to the parliamentary debate, with the level of scrutiny that will go to looking at bills and legislation that come before Parliament, and with the level of representation.
We had an issue-based campaign. We had a well-calculated campaign. We had a strong campaign team, strong and committed campaign team. And I think our messages were well packaged, and they resonated very well with the people. And despite the tough contest that it was, they bought our message and voted for us.
Madam Abayage, how much money went into this campaign? Is it something that you're able to put a figure on?
Who does that? Nobody does that. We don't do that in politics.
Well, there are women out there who are watching. They want to know how you did this. I mean, there are a lot of...
We worked hard, of course. Every campaign, goes with money. But I can't sit on TV and say I spent this much money or I spent this much money.
Okay, but at least you're not broke, are you? 2 days after the primaries, you're not broke.
No, I'm not broke. I'm definitely not broke. I told you that once people buy into your vision for a project or a program, they will support you. I mean, I alone, I'm just an ordinary civil servant. I take the regional minister's salary. My salary alone wouldn't have been able to get me to campaign even a day. But you have people who thought that, no, this lady has a message and a mission which they think will be good for the constituency, and they bought into it and supported me. So I'm not broke.
We've been looking at the percentage of women who have made it through, even the number of women who picked forms to enter this contest. It's not encouraging. What do you think we can do to get a lot more women inspired to want to be there, and then also be assured that once they put themselves out, they will be voted for?
First of all, it takes a lot of hard work. You, the female yourself, must be, or the woman yourself, must be motivated to do it. You shouldn't be told to go and do it. Trust me, getting into leadership, any woman who wants to go into leadership suffers a lot of pain along the line, insults, criticisms, all manner of things that nobody would want to go through. No female will want to go through that. No husband will want to see the wife go through that. No brother will want to see the sister go through that. These are the issues that actually stop a lot of women from putting themselves forward. They are scared of the things they'll hear. In fact, some of the things that were said about me are so unprintable you wouldn't want to hear. And along the line, people were like, do you really have to go through this? And if I wasn't that strong character, I would have just bowed out and said, enough is enough, I won't go through this. So these are the things. Once you make up your mind to go through and I will encourage women, no matter who you are, to try and put themselves out to reach their highest point of self-actualization. It's very important. It's not easy. It has never been easy for any woman at all. But once you decide to do that, then you've got to be able to take the bullets as they come and not bow out along the line. So, and then once you get in also, society has, it's especially in a patriarchal society like ours, it's difficult for people to accept that a female is coming. One of the campaign was the messages they used against was, she's a woman, she's a woman. First of all, I'm a woman, I can't beat Kofi Ada. Now they are saying I'm a woman, I can't beat Samson. I'm wondering, I've beaten Kofi Ada, I don't see why I can't beat Samson. Samson is a small fry in the scheme of affairs in politics, So that is it. They will say all these things. But I will encourage society that the time has come for us to accept women.
And of course, you can stay with us here on Joy News on Multi TV for all the latest updates when it comes to election 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Mama V also Abwaje will come your way with election brief. Away from the elections, though, as schools reopen for third years in senior high school and second years on the gold track, we go to our reporters monitoring the situation in respective regions. For Joy News, Richard Kojonyako in Cape Coast, Rafiq Salam in Wa, Nana Aljima in Kumasi.
We're depending so much on the arrival of the PPEs. Thank God, on Saturday, we took delivery of some of the PPEs. They have given us Veronica buckets, they have given us hand sanitizers, and some thermometer guns. In fact, what we haven't received is a liquid soap and then tissues. But on our own, at the school level, we are trying to see, we have provided not enough anyway, but the rest of the things that are left, so that we will start with, and all is set for us to receive the students.
So looking around, are the students, have they started coming?
Well, just about 1 or 2 came in. Even on Saturday, I saw 2 students who came in. We are just, for now, the rest have not come, but we're expecting that any moment from 12 or 11 onwards, they'll start arriving as they normally do.
What about the teachers, the staff? Are they in position to teach them?
Yes, the staff, we are ready, because we held a staff meeting and we discussed all that. Our timetable is ready, house masters are set to receive the students into the various houses.
How many students do you expect to be in school?
Yeah, we're expecting, in all the candidates we have, there are 446. We are a single track, so we are not expecting Form 2 gold students. So we are just dealing with the 446 candidates.
In terms of social distancing, classroom division, how are you going to go about it?
We don't have a problem. Our classrooms, we don't have too many classrooms. And we are trying to make use of as many classrooms as possible. So we are not going to exceed the 25 maximum per class. In some cases, there will be less.
What message do you have for parents who have their wards coming to the school?
I'm only appealing to parents to try and then prepare their wards to come to school. We know that government is providing some face masks, but we think parents should supplement, because just 3 may not be enough. We know they are reusable, but if parents can also add a few, I think it will go a lot to help. We're also appealing to parents that they shouldn't entertain fears. We are prepared. Whatever protocol is put in place for their children to be safe in school, we are going to ensure that. In terms of the provisions and everything, they should help them, things that they need. Because when they come to the school here, we are going to hold assemblies with them and also let them know that the past way of sharing, that, oh, this is my friend, hugging, shaking hands, and doing all those things. using those who are performing abolition, they're using common terms. We want them as much as possible. That should stop. So we want to impress upon parents to try and provide all the necessary things that they will need to be independent, and as far as the use of these things are concerned.
Let's get some more updates on the reopening of schools. Nana Aljima is joining us from the Ashanti region in Kumasi. Nana, give us an update on what the situation is so far.
So we've been to several schools in the Ashanti region. We started our tour from the Sakafia Senior High School in the Askwemampong municipality. In the same municipality, we went to Kumasi Academy. And from our tour so far, we've realized that most of the schools are putting in place measures to accommodate the final years and also students on the go track. Obviously, due to COVID-19 protocols, a lot of things will have to be done to ensure that these students do not contract the virus. So in all schools, according to the head teachers, they've received all supplies to help ensure that the protocols are well adhered to. I'm currently in Opokwari School, and here the dormitories and also classrooms have been decongested to be able to accommodate the students who are coming in. I have with me here the head teacher of the school, Reverend Father Stephen Osuseche, who will be updating us on what they've been able to do so far in regards to COVID-19 protocols. So, sir, bring us up to date on what you've done so far.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. As you know, students are coming. They started coming around 7 a.m. this morning, and we were ready by 6 o'clock to receive them. We had received all the necessary PPEs yesterday. So, around 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. we had everything. We spent time to put them together. And then this morning, teachers started coming first. Around 6 teachers were here. And then we gave them the PPEs, nose masks, and the hand sanitizer. We have put all the vertical buckets in vantage points. And then when students started coming, we checked their temperature. And then we have had some stands around the school. So when you check temperature, you're okay, you go to where your housemaster is. And then you register. And then when you register, it's there that you'll be given your nose mask and your hand sanitizer. And then another teacher will lead you to your dormitory where you sleep. In the dormitory, you have distanced the beds, and then your number. Because school use numbers, not names. So you put your number on your bed. That's where you're going to sleep. So when you do that, tomorrow morning, you will come back to the classroom and then do same. You distance that. Every classroom, some big classrooms have 30 students and the smaller ones have 25. We decided not to go beyond 30. So we put them in 30 and 25, and then we will put your number on your seat, your desk. That's where you will sit for classes and for prep. That's
right. Thank you very much. So we also have the Kumasi Metropolitan Chief Executive, who is also touring some of the schools in the Ashanti region, and we want to know what he has observed so far. Good afternoon, welcome to Joy News. Sir, what have you observed going on your rounds to these senior high schools?
Yeah, first of all, let me take this opportunity to thank the President as well as the Minister of Education for the prompt delivery of the various items that are meant for the various schools. Yesterday, we took delivery of all the items meant for the various schools and we distributed as such. Today, all what we are doing is to visit all the schools under my jurisdiction to find out whether they've really gotten all the COVID-19 items that the President directed that it should be given to the various schools. And we are here at Opokwari. In fact, in entering the school, we saw that they have started observing the protocols in a very strict manner. All of us, they used a thermometer gun on us, and apart from that, we were packed, and immediately we packed, we saw the tables line up there where the registration is supposed to take place. The nurses were also there, meaning that they've really prepared very, very well. We've asked them about the Veronica bucket, they've received them all. The thermometer guns have also been received. And all the children that we also saw in the school have also worn their face mask. So on the whole, what we've seen so far is something that we can be applauded of. We have to thank them. We have to thank them for the strict adherence of the COVID-19 protocols.
We know since these protocols are new to the senior high schools, there will be challenges in putting them in place. What are the challenges that you've identified so far, or the school authorities have put before you?
Well, I don't think there's going to be a lot of challenges because even when the children were at home, in fact, the use of the mask was nothing new, because even at their various homes, they were using the mask. Moving out, it was compulsory that before you go out, you have to wear the mask. And we know senior high school children are of age, and they will not always be limited by sitting in the various homes. So all the children that we've interacted with, all what they said is that it's just continuation of the COVID protocols here. And one thing that, to me, is also not going to pose as a challenge is that they are still in their various halls, except that now they've been spaced out. And because it's not all of them that are in the campus as at now, so others have been put into a different dormitory, well spaced out. Then if you go to the dining hall, well spaced out, room well.
And that's the mayor of Kumasi there speaking to my colleague Nana Aljima. Expect more from that conversation in later bulletins. Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Up next is business, and in business we find that the fees on interoperability transfers in mobile money that were waived have expired, and so now you will be charged when you're sending monies from one network to another. There's more in the business bulletin after this. And bringing us business is Sandra Esena-Mafenu, who joins me from home. Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Daniel. Good morning. It's Monday. How are you doing?
I am blessed. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Daniel. We have a lot in business this morning, afternoon, I must say. It's our first business bulletin for the day. Let's go straight into action. And the National Board for Small-Scale Industries has assured that it will soon begin disbursement of government stimulus package despite initial challenges. According to the board, the delay was due to some technical challenges encountered with the registration process. The board is giving the assurance that extending the deadline for the application by 6 days. Kochi Yankeaya is the Executive Director of the National Board for Small-Scale Industries.
I mentioned that we were ready, and I think that over the past few weeks, we have been saying that we're working towards it. And yes, we have been working towards it. As I mentioned, as we were about to download, to move on to it, we realized some of these fraudulent activities that had to be rectified to avoid a backlash from that situation. And so that is what caused the delay and the backlog. With regards to disbursements, yes, as soon as possible. And all this process, as I mentioned, in terms of rectifying, in terms of ensuring that we have the right details of people. Because the situation we don't want is the backlash of, yes, we've received the information, we haven't verified Momo numbers, we release the Momo, and you call and say it was sent to the wrong person. And so as much as possible, there's actually a lot more checks than we had assumed in terms of the work because there were so many wrong Momo numbers. The other challenge was people were in a rush to complete the application forms and put a lot of numbers. So when we moved it on to take a look at it, we realized that the numbers did not correspond with some of the names we had in the system. And that would have also caused another backlash if we had rushed through the process to do what it is that we were doing. As much as possible as well, we actually also waited to the last few weeks because as much as possible, we wanted to see as many more people who wanted to apply to come so there would be a fair process so we could see as much and then be able to make and take an informed decision based on the numbers. Assuming we had gone in the first week and given everybody and realized that there were a lot more or better applications that could come at the end of it. So to be more fair in the process, we had to wait a bit more to do that. As soon as possible, and I can guarantee that, the first leg of the disbursements, and in view of making sure that the right processes are put in place and to ensure that it gets to the right people, we're looking at a two-step system where their DOM loans, which is the micro loans, would immediately start being transferred and sorted to the beneficiaries. Then from there, in terms of the larger loans that take a lot more, or a bit more assessments, we shall make those assessments as much as possible.
Now, effective today, June 22, you will be required to pay the necessary charges and fees on mobile money interoperability as well as other digital banking charges. This is because government's waiver on these transactions expired on June 20. George Yafe has more in the following report.
That from this morning, if you are moving funds from your mobile money to another network, all the necessary charges will be applied. Also, businesses and individuals that use the GIPS Instant Pay and the ACH Direct Credit would also be paying the required charges. These waivers were introduced in March this year as part of efforts to reduce the burden on businesses as a result of the COVID-19. It was also aimed at encouraging the use of more electronic platforms in the country. For now, we are not sure about how this could negatively impact on individuals and businesses in terms of the cost of using these platforms and whether it could also affect it going forward. For instance, when the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems earlier moved to end this service, this didn't go down well with users of mobile money interoperability.
I think introducing charges will be a deterrent because around this time, people are not even making more income.
That the government took it off, I think it's helping. That is helping. So I think reintroducing it won't help.
Because sometimes the money you're having is not even enough for you to get some certainty. So I think they should hold on for a little while. Then we see how the economy goes. When we are stable with it, then you can bring back that.
But another question that will be lingering on the minds of consumers is that, will this also bring an end to other services the commercial bank had to waive in line with this move by the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems? It would also be interesting to gauge the use of this platform when we resume the charges and how the consumers would also respond. Others have also argued that since we're still not out of this COVID-19 issues, it might not be fair to actually resume the charges on all these platforms and banking services.
Minutes on the marketplace. Again, we have more details on the marketplace in business. My name is Sandra Esinamap, and I've been doing this from home, and thanks so much for watching.
Now, Sandra, don't go just yet. I know you're Copites like myself, and unfortunately, Liverpool began this half of the season with a draw over the weekend.
My fellow Popeyes, yesterday I was expecting something extraordinary, but the players look a bit rusty. I think it's not fair to describe them as such, but they look a bit rusty for me. I was expecting them to deal with these guys once and for all, so that next week we just jubilate, take our trophy. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we look forward to the coming week to see what my team will be doing. And I see Ureku Ampopo smiling because I don't think he likes us so much, Daniel.
Well, love us or hate us, Liverpool is still picking up this English Premiership. I can say that. I can feel it in my bones. But thank you so much, Sandra.
We definitely only take it, Daniel. I mean, by hook or crook, we'll get it. Whether they like it or not, it's for us this season. And so they should just, accept this and let's get this done once and for all, Daniel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sandra, for bringing us business. And you heard her say she had her eye on Ureku Ampopo. He has a sports segment up next.
Take a tour through Ghana's fastest growing online portal, www.adumonline.com, for local and international news, business, entertainment, politics, lifestyle, sports, and more. Watch the most intriguing YouTube videos on demand and live streaming of Adom TV, Ghana's #1 television station. Listen to live radio and podcast of all your favorite Adom FM programs, no matter your location and time. AdomOnline.com is an audio, photos, and video focused website. We break the news as and when it happens. AdomOnline.com is on web and app, making it easy to visit via phone, tablet, and desktop. AdomOnline.com, Ghana's most comprehensive news portal.
Enjoy your deliciously rich and creamy Richoco, made from the finest Ghanaian cocoa, milk, and sugar.
Yummy.
Richoco, made from the finest Ghanaian cocoa. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Richoco.
Agukansi who come ni nyina ba wie yo na DSTV at the live sports abre ubio. Wey any bra ya twene a chenu o. Shia Mosala se wo yi ne nkache. Yakrado Emma Formula 1 any football akansi ahodo aka nyina abusua tena wakunyamu na boje wakansi fu a wani ji won ho no so se wo si akan e wo league akase a ye ne ji hu no mu te se Serie A, La Liga any EPL to your DSTV wo pay by the point e ben wo bia ana to your mobile agent bia na nya ni gemru so imu chefa Agukansi ahodo a asan ba nyina wo Super Sports I what DSTV so DSTV feel every moment.
And Reku Ampofo joins us with the latest action for the weekend, including that Liverpool draw in the English Premier League. Hi, Reku.
Hi, Daniel. I can tell by how you're excited. It's just a matter of when and if.
Yes. We just have to count down those 6 points, 1 down, 5 to go. And I'm beside myself, I tell you.
Certainly there, but Liverpool can wrap up the league title this week. But before we come to that, we'll be starting with some Ghanaian football, and the Ghana FA is still waiting on the ruling government to aid clubs with some form of financial support amid the coronavirus outbreak. Now, some weeks ago, President of the FA stated that he stated that he was engaging with all the major stakeholders to ensure that the football family is included in the government stimulus package to alleviate some of the hardship on the footballing industry. However, with the final decision yet to be made, it seems as if government appears to be dragging its feet in offering support to the local clubs. And today, the GFA continues its pursuit of the stimulus package by government for clubs. And in the latest development, the FA delved into how the Ghanaian football industry is quantitatively affected by football. And it talks about the strength of the football industry. And it just breaks down the numbers in terms of the football players right now and where they do fall in terms of the division. And the Ghana Premier League currently has 1,019 players. Division 1 has 2,353 players. The Women's Premier League has 600 players. And then the Division 2 and 3, has 43,700 players. And the juvenile leagues have about 23,000 players. So in total, there are 70,672 players who are currently being affected by the coronavirus. And the Ghana FA certainly did put this number together to try and show government the numbers that are being affected by football not being played. Now, the big question remains as to how clubs are generating income since football has been on a hold since March due to the coronavirus. So as a result, most clubs are struggling to generate income. Remember, most of these teams make their money from match day and from selling merchandise and content. All that is generated through matches being played. And it's been over 3 months since any match has been played in Ghana. The Ghana FA goes on to say that the figures represent only registered footballers. This is without coaches, administrators, medical, and other essential service providers who are directly employed by the football industry. So I'm sure if you do add all these numbers, the numbers of players and staff and administration and all the stakeholders could surpass 75,000 people who are currently being affected by football not being played. So that shows how significant the fight by the Ghana FA is. And we would have to wait and see how government responds to this in terms of the stimulus package. But before I do go, let me just touch on some international news. And the biggest one was Liverpool taking a step closer to the English Premier League, as we did rightly mention. They drew 0-0 in that Merseyside derby, a result that didn't surprise many, considering that Jurgen Klopp's men have failed to score in 3 of their last 4 visits at Merseyside. And what that draw does to Liverpool now is that they can win the league this week. They are on 83 points after 30 games. Man City on 60 points after 29 games. If Manchester City fail to win today against Burnley and Liverpool win against Jordan Ayew's Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool will be crowned champions. But still, speaking of Jordan Ayew and Crystal Palace, Jordan Ayew also scored over the weekend, a goal that made him the highest scoring Ghanaian in the Premier League, as he surpassed Tony Abua's record of 24. Jordan now sits at 25 goals. That wraps it up for the sports segment. My name is Oreku Ampo.
Thank you very much, Oreku Ampofo. Hopefully by next Monday, you'll be addressing me as a fan of the English Premier League champion.
All the best, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Oreku. Have a good day. Of course, Oreku will bring us more updates in sports bulletins during the day. But now enjoy news today. It's time for World News. Because President Cyril Ramaphosa has warned of difficult decisions and difficult days ahead in dealing with the economic effects of the coronavirus pandemic. He also said there are no quick fixes to recovery, even as the government gradually reopens the economy following 3 months of restrictions. The president, in a statement, said the finance minister will this week table a revised budget in Parliament, which would prioritize some programs and scale back on others. Businesses have been retrenching staff because of heavy losses, whilst others are closing permanently. President Ramaphosa acknowledged the challenge of balancing safety measures and saving businesses from collapse. He said that difficult decisions to be taken will be done with care and due regard to balancing the sustainability of companies and the livelihoods of workers. It is important that whatever is done is underpinned by ensuring a just transition to all concerned. That's according to the South African president. Now, countries in the Americas recorded some of the highest of COVID-19 cases in recent times. Brazil on Sunday became the second country after the United States to record more than 50,000 COVID-19 deaths. Peru is the second worst affected country in the region, with more than 250,000 cases and more than 8,000 COVID-19 related deaths. Despite the continuing rise in cases, the government has brought forward the planned reopening of shopping centers and hairdressers in most areas of the country. Chile has become the latest country to surpass the number of cases in Italy, an early hotspot of the pandemic. The number of dead nearly doubled on Saturday after the government changed the way it tallies the figure to include probable fatalities from COVID-19. Now, Mexico has so far recorded fewer cases than either Peru or Mexico, but its death toll is much higher, with more than 21,000 facilities or fatalities. Just under half of all Mexican states, including Mexico City, are still in the red zone under the highest alert, with bars and cinemas closed and sporting events cancelled. The brewing of beer, which had been paused for weeks at the start of the pandemic, leading to a shortage, has been allowed to resume. And that's it for World News here on Joy News Today. And this is where we wrap up this bulletin of Joy News Today. My name is Daniel Dazi. Thanks for joining us. Up next is The Marketplace. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a great day.
We don't quarrel at Araklu. We are fighting for something good. So this is our drinking water.
It's not true that the water, the source of water for drinking in this town is from River Toje. It's not true. It's not true.
In 2016, it was groundbreaking. In 2020, it was set the election agenda. The Joy Ballot Box returns, placing the power in the hands of the citizens. Our team of volunteers will be coming to your constituency with our ballot boxes. What issues will influence your vote in this general election?
We need schools. Our water issue.
You know, if you're not healthy, you can't vote. For PWDs, the accessibility of public places is key to us.
Come, write your issues on our ballot papers and slot them in our ballot boxes. And make sure to join us for the live ballot box, which airs from 5 to 7 p.m. Friday. This year, the Joy Ballot Box will focus on inclusion in partnership with the Star Ghana Foundation. The Joy Ballot Box on your election headquarters on TV, radio, and online.
Bang bang with the cash.
My name is Kweku Ejaya Mwabusompem, also known as DJ Fantastic. Multimedia Group is celebrating 25 years of media excellence, and I'm a beneficiary of the Multimedia Educare Fund. I want to thank the Multimedia Group for investing in my life. Grateful hearts, Asada.
My name is Irabna Amwabusompim. Multimedia is celebrating 25 years of media excellence, and I am a beneficiary of the Multimedia Group Educare Fund. I would like to thank Multimedia for investing in my life. Grateful hearts, Asada.
My
name is Sam Crunchy Ankra, the Apostle General. I want you to know that people who get infected with the virus are not outcasts. Neither are they enemies, nor they got infected because of any sin that they committed against God. No. The only reason why that you have not been infected is because the grace of God is with you and the mercies of God are with you. So therefore, when our brothers and sisters get infected and they are cured and they come, please let's receive them. Let's not stigmatize them. Let's open our arms. Let's love them. Let's encourage them. Because it is only by grace that you are still alive and you have not been infected. So therefore, let's stop the stigmatization now.
Nana Ama Iyaba the First, the Queen Mother of Efutu and Kronti Hima of the Ogwa traditional area. There is this story about this woman who people would not want to sell to her because her husband had been exposed. This is not good. Anybody who had gone into such a condition had already been traumatized. And so if the person is stigmatized, it's like adding insults to injuries. We should rather show affection to them. We should embrace them. Please, let us stop stigmatization because it kills.
When somebody has the coronavirus and then God being so good, he gets through, he recovers and he comes home, we have to give him a warm reception. You don't have to shun away from him. Let's stop the stigmatization of people who have recovered from the coronavirus. Please, let's...
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
Dance Terror, your dance channel.
Today on Dance Terror, we bring you Dance Unlimited, featuring some of the best acts you can find in this country and beyond. Stick and stay, don't go away, we'll be right back.
This is your girl, Abba.
My name is Robert.
And right now you're dancing with Dance Terror TV. I love you guys so much, Tiptoe. Mwah!
Brace yourself for 100% world-class dance entertainment. From dance videos to dance moves.